he stole my minion sock, so that's...
Okay.
I think Mikey is more, he's a talkator, eh? He'll talk a little bit.
Yeah, here and there.
A little bit.
Biggest talker is Johnny Batista, but...
Nobody can talk. When he's in that corner, he's getting out-talked.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so...
The final question we have for you tonight is, do you have a favorite game or a favorite goal that you scored throughout your career? Does one game or one goal stick out to you?
Probably the double OT winner in the finals against Elmira back here.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a good answer.
I thought it'd been maybe 2017, the last game in Danville. That wasn't your favorite game?
Well, I scored, but we lost.
Oh, okay. We knew we were going to bring it up sometime, right?
Oh, yeah.
I had to give you a little needle just every once in a while. That's Christmas. A little poke. That's okay.
Coach, before we go, and I know this might pain you a little bit, or maybe not, but just while we have him here, just talk about what Yuri means to this again, to this group, the groups you've had in the past, and what type of player and person he is.
Well, we talk about him and you and Sally and the contribution that they bring, and he's a complete hockey player, and I might have to open the door a little wider to get his head through here, but he's a complete hockey player. He's like that. What did someone call it? A Swiss Army knife. He can play forward. He can play defense. He plays left wing, right wing. I've even had him at center a little bit. I know that might not be your favorite position, but he's played there too. So he kind of does everything and does everything well. Like he runs our power play, up at the top, or he could be down low. He just does a lot of things, and it's a great contribution. And the one thing that we always talk about is your hockey IQ. And I have some guys that are very high hockey IQ, and it's not something that you just, it just doesn't happen. You got to have it, and you got to grow with it. And I'll give him a compliment here. He has a high hockey IQ, and not a lot of players. I've had good players before, but they don't have that IQ as much. They're just good players, but he's kind of a combination of both. He's a very good player. A great player, actually, but he's got a very high IQ. Him and I can sit and talk about something, and we both see the game the way I like to see it. And as I said, so it's a pleasure to sit and talk to him sometimes about different situations or whatever, because he sees that game, and that's, as I said, that's a compliment to him. He has that, and he uses it to his advantage. So, yeah. and then obviously him being here, we talk about the big family, and he's part of that family where he's in the community. We just mentioned that during the question there. Like that's huge here. That's why maybe this year we're a little down, but for the most part, there's always been great crowds here. And that's a compliment to the guys who have stayed here for 8 years or 9 years. You got Boots, with Sally, but then Boots now, and then I think Forty's been here 5 years with Snoppy, and all those. And I think Boris is going on his 4th year. So those are the guys. But as I said, he's been here a long time, and just a great person. And as I said, he wears the shield on his chest. With pride, and it's a great. I'm very lucky to be able to coach him and have him here with us.
Yeah. Coach, let's get to the games here against Columbus. This is we did the weekend preview, you and I, that'll run on the broadcast, and rivalry games and important games. And you talked about it earlier. Teams that's around you in the standings, you need to win this time of year. It's our only trip down there in the regular season, only planned trip, but you never know, could see each other later in the year. So talk about the River Dragons here coming up for the weekend.
Well, they Friday night they let one slip against Athens. They were up 3-0, so they're playing well. They let it slip a little like us on or Saturday, but we held our game. And then on Saturday, they beat them. I think it was they scored a couple on the empty net there, but they're playing well. And so again, every time we go down there, I always like going to Columbus. They're as I said to you today when we had our talk there, they're always great games, very entertaining. And if you can't go to a game and watch that game there, even when they come to our barn. It's really great entertainment, great hockey, and I expect nothing less this weekend here. And we're going to have to come out and play well and play the way we can. And the one thing that these guys, they've made the mistake, they've raised the bar for me.
Gwin Services has been serving North Carolina for over 50 years, ensuring the safety and comfort of our customers' homes. We take pride in bringing together the best electricians, plumbers, and heating and cooling technicians to bring convenience and unbeatable value to our customers. Life can be hectic. What better way to simplify than to have one company you trust to take care of all of your home's repair needs? Since 1972, integrity and customer satisfaction have been at the heart of everything we do. We are proud to have built a name our neighbors trust, one that provides peace of mind and a service that can be relied on, today, tomorrow, and for years to come. Thank you for trusting Gwin Services with your home. We are proud to stand behind the work we do every single day to serve our friends and neighbors here in North Carolina. We are Gwin Services. One call does it all.
And welcome back live inside the Columbus Civic Center. Kendall Grayson with you as always. Twin City Thunderbirds hockey as the two teams have returned for the Culver's third period here on the broadcast.
Welcome back to the ice for the third period. Go! Columbus River Dragons!
All right, so the Thunderbirds on the board. Goal from Jan Salak after they fell behind by 2, but it's Salak scoring from Josh LaBelle, Don Carter at 14:48 of the second period. Out-of-town scoreboard report, and here's what we have for you for scores from around the league with a 6-1 lead right now for Binghamton on the road against Watertown. Port Huron leading Danbury 3-2. Athens with a 3-0 lead over the Ice Caps from PD. And a 4-3 lead, Blue Ridge on the road against Indiana. No score, Monroe and Topeka. Baton Rouge has a 1-0 lead on the road against Biloxi. Shots are 20-19. Following 40 minutes of play favoring Columbus. Right to left, the Thunderbirds will attack here in this third and final frame of regulation time. We needed more than that last night. And from center ice, played by Roman Kramer immediately, all the way across the building it goes. Babbitt off the backhand and zips along the near side boards. Fishing for it is Zach White. Roman Kramer now trying to dig it free from beneath the referee. Zach White looking for it. Kramer has it. LaBelle goes across quickly. Kennedy in front of the net and covered up by Babin, falling backwards as he had Nate Keeley crashing towards him. 19:33 left in the Culver's third period. Hungry fans, well, nothing beats a Culver's Butter Burger, fresh, never frozen beef, seared to perfection and served on a lightly buttered toasted bun. Stop by Culver's at 2973 Fair Lawn Drive in Winston-Salem today. Culver's, welcome to delicious. We're back. Long shot from the point is blocked. They're looking for it, though, out in front. Trevor Babin, they find it and move it just wide of the goal quickly. Thunderbirds looking good here early on in the Culver's third period, trying to tie the game. Back behind the goal. Here's Nate Keeley holding on to it. Keeley circling around. In front they go, and Kramer, how did that not go in? Well, Trevor Babin, I think, got a piece of it, although I don't think he ever saw that one. What a chance for Roman Kramer. Kramer jumps back onside. Still in the first minute of the period. Glove save made this time by Babin, and he gives it a squeeze. So shots are even at 20. Thunderbirds back on home ice coming up on Wednesday. You can find your tickets online, WSFairgrounds.com, Ticketmaster.com, or by calling the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena box office at 336-727-2236. Gus Ford will look to win this faceoff back behind him to James Farmer. Farmer
Farmer looks like he's ready for it, and then it goes to the side of the net, all the way around, and out it goes. The clearing attempt from Columbus. They successfully clear it way down the rink. Found here by Farmer. From the side of the circle. Here's Ford fighting for possession across. They go to Hanley. Cade Hanley ships it out to Salak, and he tried to bat it down. Into the near side, 18:35 to play in the third period. Thunderbirds behind enemy lines. Final road game in the 2025 calendar. Salak towards the goal, goes back behind the net. Babin, who's looking on. Behind the goal line. Collected here by the River Dragons. Held onside. No, they'll call it back in the line from Hanley. Hanley trying to chip it onside. 18:15 left to go here in this third and final frame of regulation time. .8:35, the time of the puck drop on Wednesday, and then Thursday, of course, New Year's Day. And then Twin City with 2 home games on the weekend. Back-to-back home games against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Looking forward to it. 3 straight games in total against them. Onside, here we go. In front, glove save made by Babin. He held it right by his right ear as he catches it. And it gives us a break in the action. That was the 22nd shot of the night for Twin City. 5-on-5 we play. Keeley, White, Creamer, LaBelle, Kennedy. And the faceoff goes away from Nate Keeley. The far side, grabbed and played here by the River Dragons. It's Ryan Galvin, quickly steps over the line and sends it back behind the net. Kramer tried to get back to find that one. Keeley as well there in the far side corner. It's off the backhand from LaBelle, way down the ice, and this is going to be icing called against the Thunderbirds. So now a defensive zone face-off coming up. Well, Twin City knows that not only they can tie the game, but they can take the lead. They did it just last night. We were in a similar situation, down 2-1 here, and a couple of goals in the final 5 minutes. Columbus then scored 1, though, with 10 seconds left. Thunderbirds, here they come with Joe Kennedy. Kennedy, fresh out of retirement here on the weekend. Second game of the season for him. Fan favorite in Winston-Salem. Near side, here's Gus Ford. Gets it up to Salak towards the goal. Tipped in front. They don't fire it, and they try to take it to the near side post with Zach White. Here's LaBelle, and it hopped on him, went out to the neutral zone. Kennedy goes across, chipped ahead by Yuri Pastuka. Batted down along the red line, off the backhand from Moore. Columbus has it onside. Found though by Ford, an errant pass. It's intercepted. Thunderbirds go looking for it here over the red line. Here comes Gus Ford, powers his way onside, couple of moves, and then eventually lost the handle. And Columbus able to steer it clear of danger out to the neutral zone. Connor Mullins from the left side. He'll move it onside. Mike Wynn finds it, tries to alleviate the pressure here for Columbus. Down behind the goal line. Far side corner. We'll see if Salak can find it. It's batted down, kicked at there by Farmer, and then here comes Columbus on a 2-on-1. They'll center, they shoot, they score. And Ryan Galvin has made a 2-goal game again. It's now 3-1 with 16:07 left to play in our Culver's third period. 2-on-1 break in from the blue line there. And they get it across on the pass. Similar looking play to what won the game for the River Dragons last night. It's an odd man rush. And they convert. Down the rink, Boris Babick will play it here as we're back. Top Out of the far side circle. It's chipped down the rink by Jacob Schnapp. And Twin City will be called for an icing infraction. 15:47 now left to go, and the faceoff comes back down the rink. So they announce the details of the scoring play for Ryan Galvin and the Columbus River Dragons. Assisted by Ryan Hunter and Mike Wynn. 3:53, the time of the even strength goal here in the Culver's third period. Far side, here's LaBelle. Chips it to the near side, looking for a play from Carter. Out towards center. Goes just away from Jacob Schnapp. Then they go across the rink with it. Found by Brody Thornton. Back behind the net. Thornton holding on to it. Flips it to the far side. Way high in the air it goes. And they'll look to swat at it. They'll find it with Hanley. He got tripped there. And we continue. Chance onside again for Columbus. This time the zone full. Sorjahan, a shot and the glove save made. A chest save made that then ended up in the glove from Boris Babbitt. So 15:15 left to play. We're live on YouTube, Facebook, Sporfy, and our audio partners at WTOB tonight. We had a brief dropout there during the break on the video side of things, but we're back. And so if you're still looking for that feed, just refresh it on the video platforms. We actually lost our connection with WTOB in the break as well, but we were out of it on our side, so I don't think that was any different on the audio side of things. As they were playing the programming there locally from the station back home in Winston-Salem. Under 15 to play. It's now a 2-goal lead for Columbus at 3-1. Here's Texmo. This is Lucas Texmo shooting a long one, blocked in front, and Babbitt covers it. That'll send us to the media timeout. 14:43 left to go in the Culver's third period. And Columbus has once again gone back up by 2. We'll be right back.
When it comes to performance, speed matters, just like on the ice. Introducing same-day dental crowns right here at Twin Oaks Dentistry. With cutting-edge technology, we craft crowns on site, eliminating the need for temporary. As proud sponsors of the Thunderbirds, we understand the need for top-notch performance. We're more than just dental care. We're your partners in achieving your best smile.
Flo Cadillac is a proud sponsor of the Thunderbirds. Visit 1400 South Stratford Road for a free test drive. Or go online to flowcadillac.com to schedule a sales or service appointment.
And welcome back inside the Columbus Civic Center here in Columbus, Georgia. Kendall Grayson with you as always for Twin City Thunderbirds hockey. We have 14:43 left to play in our Culver's third period. Hey, Thunderbirds fans, got a sweet tooth? Well, Culver's fresh frozen custard is rich, creamy, and made in small batches all day. Every day, swing by Culver's at 2973 Fairlawn Drive in Winston-Salem and check out today's flavor. Culver's, welcome to delicious. Defensive zone face-off, Nate Keeley. They'll jump it early with Zach White, and now Zach White has to draw in and take it. And it's one away from him. Played by Alexander Jemayev back behind the net. It goes off the back of the goal and eventually collected here by the Thunderbirds. It's moved across the offensive attacking end quickly, then back to center. James Farmer sends it to Joe Kennedy. Kennedy goes off the forehand, flips it back behind the net. And way down the rink it goes. Boris Babbitt looking on, and icing is called against Columbus. Shots are 23-22, favoring the home team. Blue Ridge still leading Indiana 4-3 on the out-of-town scoreboard report. Topeka up 1-0 on Monroe. Baton Rouge leading Biloxi 1-0. Athens still leading PD 3-0. Port Huron 3, Danbury 2. And it's 6-1 in the Binghamton-Watertown game. And it's the Black Bears there with a 5-goal advantage. Thunderbirds looking for it here. It's LaBelle to find it out to the neutral zone. Cade Hanley goes ahead, just out of the reach of the goal stick, or the stick there from Gus Ford. As goaltender Boris Babic looks on here, nearly had to make a save. That one was forced wide of the goal, though. And Colton, he'll flip it ahead. This one went right off Gus Ford. That's a tough break, and he's stung by that one. He'll try to get over to the bench, and he jumps over the boards. River Dragons nearly gave up possession there at center. Then it goes away from Hunter, back behind the net for Boris Babic. Goes off the back of the goal, and then found here by Dion Demke. To the near side corner. Flipped in front of the goal. River Dragons off the backhand. They fire it wide. Moore tries to take it away behind the net. Josh LaBelle missed his check. Now he stands up as Demke was tackled down. Here's LaBelle. Wants to play it ahead. Now Solokin on goal, and that nearly worked out. Nearly found its way back behind Trevor Babin. Not a bad idea there from Jan Salak, just to put the stick to it and see what would happen. He couldn't really put his weight behind it and shoot it, but he just tried to knock it on net. And on the near side corner from the face-off, Columbus will zip it out to center ice. This is our final trip to this facility this year. Back-to-back road games here on the weekend. This is the 6th and final contest between these two teams. That's at least what's scheduled in the regular season. Columbus goes across the rink with a quick pass. Top of the far side circle, near side. They'll miss the pass to Storjahan. Storjahan pushes it up high and unable to hold the line. Looking back behind him is Justin Summerall. Behind the net, Brody Thornton. Thornton stops on it. He waits. Near side, they'll chip it up. And the Thunderbirds nearly had it. Now they will at the logo. It's Hanley to Farmer. Farmer to Keeley. Keeley trying to drop it onside. Down towards center. This one played by Storjahan. And now Hanley looking to find in the near side corner back behind the goal. So they'll stretch it across the rink. We've played 8 minutes of the Culver's third period. And Columbus with a 3-1 lead. Chance in front from Sabat, goes off the side of the net. River Dragons look to hold the line. They'll miss the pass though. Down the rink it goes. Shots are even at 23 apiece. It's back behind the goal. And we'll see the Thunderbirds can strike a couple of times in the final 5 minutes, or perhaps well before that. Still plenty of time left tonight. Sabat was wide open in front of the goal, and the River Dragons didn't get it to him, so here's Josh LaBelle. LaBelle run into, snaps it along though to White, onside here. Now it's Keeley shooting one, shot block though. There's Keeley off the backhand. He had 2 attackers to the back of him, Pesamente and Underwood. Chance in front, one-timer, they score! What a shot from Zach White! It's a 1-goal game again at 3-2. White's 12th of the season and 45th of his FPHL career. 11:09 left to go in the Culver's third period. We got a 1-goal game once more. All right, that was the 24th shot of the game for the Thunderbirds. Gus Ford will take the face-off at center with Pastuca to his right, Salak to his left.
Twin City goal.
And they'll announce the goal to Zach White.
By number 22, Joseph Kennedy. Number 21, Nate Keeley.
So it's White from Kennedy and Keeley as they call the River Dragons for icing. And of course, that is Kennedy's first point of the season. Out of retirement, gets the assist in his second game. Gus Ford, far side of the building here from the face-off circle. Huge scoring play here. As a long shot in from LaBelle is dealt with by Trevor Babin. Zach White brings the Thunderbirds back within one. Jan Salak with the goal earlier in the game. And that was at 14:48 of the second period. White from Joe Kennedy and Nate Keeley at 8:51 of our Culver's third period. Back behind the net as it's lifted over the goal line. Pastuca spinning around. Now forward to LaBelle, long shot, and Babin has it. That leaves us with 10 minutes and 40 seconds left in the third. Shots are 26-23. Thunderbirds riding some momentum from the goal from White. Also now increasing the shot volume. Far side circle. Face-off victory for Ford. LaBelle steps up, rips one off the deflection. It goes wide. Salak, one-timer that hit Babin to the mask, and he bent over and dropped his mask, and they stopped the play. 10:32 left to go in the Culver's third period as Trevor Babin took a heater of a shot right off the mask. By the way, Elliot Friedman is now reporting that the ECHL and the Players Association have a tentative agreement to end the strike. That is breaking news reported on by Elliot Friedman. And that's just now coming across. I know that's been a hot topic in minor league hockey on the last couple of weeks now. But a tentative agreement has been reached to end the strike, again, according to Elliot Friedman, who is now reporting that news. From the face-off, LaBelle near side, and they've blown this play down. And I think the Thunderbirds are going to get called for interference here in the attacking zone. And so the first penalty called against Twin City tonight is going to get called in the offensive zone. Interference to Jan Salak. And so now for the first time tonight, it's the Bobo's Deli and Grill penalty kill. And this one really feels like a must-kill situation for this team. They got the momentum back after scoring. Jacob Schnapp picks it up shorthanded. Here we go. Powers his way in from center on a break. Couple of moves, and they lost possession of it. It's down behind the line. So it's a centering play from Schnapp. At least that's what he was trying to do as they announced the penalty to Salak. He had a friend to pass to in front of the goal. Jacob Schnapp kills some time, though, and the Bobo's Deli and Grill penalty kill skating hard. Now he goes off on the change. Alex Dorjan onside here. Goes across, and they'll fire one. That just missed. I think it went glancing off the crossbar. So we got a one-goal game at 3-2. Thunderbirds down here with 1:20 left on the penalty to Jan Salak. Over the red line at center, here's Underwood, crosses, and from the side of the circle, now into the corner. We'll see if the Thunderbirds can regain possession of the puck. Looking to move it out. Out towards center, Zach White will find it. He'll have pressure behind him, steps up though, carries back behind the goal. Can he center it? As he had Gus Ford streaking in front of the net, but instead pushes it back down the ice, and Josh LaBelle will handle it. Jan Salak interference at 9:33. Of the Culver's third period is off a deflection. This goes up and out of play. Media timeout. There's the announcement. We'll be right back.
Flow Offer to Purchase makes it easy for you to generate an appraisal for a vehicle online in under 5 minutes. You can confidently use Flow Offer to Purchase to determine your vehicle's trade-in value or to get a real offer to sell it to us. Here at Flow, we've always had a transparent, interactive appraisal process that our customers love. We developed our Flow Offer to Purchase tool to offer you that same great experience online or through our Flow Garage app anytime, anywhere. Using Flow Offer to Purchase is simple. Either enter your license plate number or VIN, and the system will pull up basic information about your vehicle. Some vehicles have options or extras that need to be selected in order to pull an accurate value. Then just tell us about the current condition of a few things like your tires, dents and scratches, or mechanical issues. From there, a real offer on your vehicle, whether you buy from us or not, is just a click away. Just a heads up, our staff will check over your vehicle to ensure your Flow Offer to Purchase is accurate. Your satisfaction is our priority. Flow Automotive dealerships have processed tens of thousands of vehicles using Flow Offer to Purchase, which has resulted in buying many thousands of cars from customers. Try Flow Offer to Purchase for free today. You can access this tool by clicking Sell Trade on flowauto.com or your dealer site by starting the Sell Trade dialog in the center of the homepage.
Welcome back inside the Columbus Civic Center. 9:12 left to go here in the Culver's third period. We have more reporting coming out on the potential end of the strike from Greg Wisniewski. He says that players will report to their teams in good faith and prepare to return to play pending ratification and approval of this new deal. And so we'll keep you updated if any additional information comes in. But breaking news here on this Saturday night. Brody Thornton holding on to it here on the power play as Columbus looks to go up by 2 again. We'll see if the Thunderbirds can kill it off, though, as they're down by 1 at 3-2. Huge goal scored recently from Zach White. Near side, one-timer, stopped by Boris Babic. It's free and not out of the zone. Blacksmith to it, then it goes across the far side corner. Chopped at by Joe Kennedy. He's got his first point of the season on the assist on the Zach White goal. Found by LaBelle. Should have room. Yes, he does. Out it goes. All right, Jan Salak standing in the box, just 5 seconds remaining on this Bobo's Deli and Grill penalty kill. It'll be a successful one as he steps out now. Back to 5-on-5 again. James Farmer gets back defensively. Salak's got fresh legs sitting in the box, 3-on-2 perhaps. No, they call it back offside with Hanley looking to swing the pass across the rink. So 8:17 left to play in the Culver's third period. Thunderbirds down by a goal here on the road at 3-2. Face-offs outside of the attacking area. And this will be moved out of the reach of Gus Ford as we're back. Just over the red line. This pulled back into the defensive end as Farmer swings the pass. Farmer got it again, and it's offside. You could hear the linesman from all the way up here. And so he does call this back after making the announcement.
Offside, Twin City, brought to you by Old School Barbershop.
Face-offs outside of the attacking area for the Thunderbirds. Won, though, by the River Dragons. And they'll dump it to the far side corner. Grabbed here by Hanley. Now played by Gus Ford. Ford swings a pass just out of the reach of the stick of Jan Salak. It's back behind the goal line. Far side now. Columbus will chip it ahead. And they look to make a play on it. Here's Salak holding on to it. Salak steps onside along with Zach White. White looks to play it ahead. Here's White across on the pass, just misses Kennedy. Kennedy finds it, shoots one up and way out of play off a deflection. All right, so if you're just tuning in, breaking news that the ECHL and the Professional Hockey Players Association agreeing to end the strike, and that is now no longer being reported on because it's being confirmed by the PHPA and the ECHL. They release a joint statement confirming the reports that we brought to you earlier. So that'll be the update on that, and we'll see if the Thunderbirds can come back and win this one here on Saturday night. They came back last night. They took the lead and unable to win the game as they dropped it in the overtime. LaBelle towards the net. This one goes fluttering wide. Under 7 to play in the Culver's third period. They'll battle for it. From the half wall as Keeley got knocked down to the ice. And this one's been called pretty tightly, I will say. They've been consistent with that. Here's Keeley out towards center. Danced around one player off the deflection and went high in the air, fell back down over the blue line. Fouled by Roman Kramer. He's open in front, had it roll on him, and then it was taken away. Just 2 penalties called tonight. Each team 0 for 1 on the power play. And in from center, then taken by the River Dragons. They back up towards the defensive zone and then move down the rink. And we'll have a stoppage with 6:10 left to go in our Culver's third period. Thunderbirds back on home ice. That's coming up at 8:35 on Wednesday. A rare midweek game in this league, but of course, New Year's Eve. And so it's actually going to be a busy night of hockey across the FPHL. Lots of games on Wednesday night. New Year's Day on Thursday. No action for the Thunderbirds. And then back-to-back home games on the weekend against Blue Ridge. Blue Ridge, the opponent for the next 3 games. Here we go. Hanley has it from the face-off. Back down low, picked off, though, out of the reach. Pastuka. Thunderbirds find it, and they'll play it here at center with Farmer. So Farmer goes ahead. Now it's up to Salak. Steps on side. In front they go, and it's off of Babin, who stopped it. Gus Ford, as he looks to tie the game. Back out towards center, though, as it's stolen away by Josh Colton. Gave the pass to Ryan Galvin. Flutters it towards the net. And it's dealt with by Boris Babick. He wanted to continue the play, so after he made a save, he dropped it right down and allowed his teammates to play it from there. Back behind the goal of Trevor Babin. Back to center. Here comes Barrow. Tyler Barrow waits. No showers. He stops on his right foot. Fires in. A save made by Boris Babick. Down he goes. Collected here by Josh LaBelle. LaBelle crosses over the red line. Sends it off the backhand. And then right back out to center. Collected and played on by Joe Kennedy. Kennedy will move it near side to Dion Demke. Demke crossed over the red line. That's all he could advance from there, though, as he was run into. Jacob Schnapp calling for a change. Thunderbirds making some swaps. This one goes by Samaro, collected by Farmer. Farmer, as White tried to get around Thornton, he went down. We continue. He was given a bump along the opposite blue line. There's a heavy hit from James Farmer. And away they go. They try to get it to Farmer. They do. James Farmer shoots one. Glove save made. Falling back by Trevor Babin. Now we've got a convergence off to his side as they announce the media timeout. And it looks like everyone will cool off. If they don't, we'll jump right back in. But it looks like this one, we'll see everyone separated. It's our last media timeout. We'll take it.
2 pillows, endless possibilities. At Cotton & Crate, we make it easy to refresh your home season after season. Our 18 by 18 and 12 by 20 pillow sizes pair perfectly with our seasonal collections of interchangeable covers, so you can refresh your style anytime without cluttering up your closet. We're proud to team up with the Twin City Thunderbirds, celebrating hometown spirit and the comfort of home on and off the ice. Thunderbirds fans, enjoy $5 off your order at cottonandcrate.com with the code TBIRDS 5 off. Cotton & Crate, 2 pillows, endless possibilities.
Maple Chase Golf and Country Club offers the best in recreational amenities in the Triad. Come enjoy a meal at the Pine Brook Bar and Grill, relax by our pool and cabana, and gear up at the Pro Shop while sharpening your skills on our 9,000 square foot putting green, and play around on our 18-hole Ellis Maples Design Championship Golf Course. You can find out more at maplechasecc.com. That's maplechasecc.com.
Four minutes, 22 seconds. That's all we have left now in regulation. As they updated the shots in the break, shots are now showing as 26 for the home team, 29 for the Thunderbirds. Twin City still down at 3-2. Jan Salak and Zach White have the goals. Chouetten Blacksmith, Ryan Hunter, and Ryan Galvin have all scored for Columbus. Offensive zone face-off. Nate Keeley ready to go. Zach White to his left, Roman Kramer to his right. And down he goes, one away from Keeley by Ryan Hunter. Out of the far side circle, batted down at center. Nate Keeley feels some pressure, then he steps up, swings a pass, intercepted. And the River Dragons look to work from the neutral zone. James Farmer blocked the advance the other way, then taken aside and moved back onside by Columbus. Behind the goal, they'll have it with Boris Babick, and then he watched it go away. I think he was trying to let his teammate play it there, and then he's able to make a save on a long-range shot, no problems from there. And the Thunderbirds will have a defensive zone face-off coming up. Out-of-town scoreboard report, Indiana has tied the game against Blue Ridge. It's now 4-4. Blue Ridge the opponent for the next 3 games for the Thunderbirds. And then Athens leading PD by 2. Port Huron leading Danbury by 1. It's a 5-goal win officially for Binghamton as they announce that final there over Watertown. It's now posted as a 6-1 win. Salak steps onside to the near side corner. He'll look to play it from there. Gus Ford fighting for possession. It's back behind the net. And punch back down low. Salak looking to find it from there. 3:25 left to play in the Culver's third period. The Thunderbirds look to force a turnover. Aggressive here as they're down a goal late in the game. Far side. Back behind the net, they center in front, and right on the doorstep was Jan Salak, and Trevor Babin has it. What a chance. 30th shot of the game for Twin City. Well, last night the Thunderbirds had the game-tying goal at this point. Scored a go-ahead goal. That was 10 seconds away from being a game-winning goal. Similar spot here, although now the time really ticking. 3:05 left to go in regulation. Ryan Galvin in from center, one-on-one with Kennedy backing up. They'll stop. Galvin forced to play in the corner as Kennedy came after him. Back behind the net. Centering pass, high into Underwood, and a shot blocked by Roman Kramer. Long shot there from Underwood. It was blocked, and the River Dragons steal it here behind the net as they look to center. Long shot, another shot block. Could be a 3-on-2. Thunderbirds have it. Zach White's onside. He's got LaBelle. They'll make changes, and White will wipe it down the boards all the way around. Now Boris Babick. He plays it off the side of his goal. We will keep our eyes on him. Thunderbirds tied it without having to lift him last night. Here's Farmer, steps onside. Here comes Boris Babick as it's sent into Trevor Babin's possession, and he stops it. 2:05 left. And we'll see if head coach Steve Harrison wants his timeout. He does. He's signaling for it here on the bench. I can see that from here. He just yelled at the official, and he heard him, and the timeout has been called by the Thunderbirds.
Timeout, Twin City.
We got 2:05 to play. And it's a 1-goal game at 3-2. And head coach Steve Harrison drawing up some plans on the whiteboard along the visitors' bench. Once again, tightly contested hockey. I mentioned entering tonight's game that entering the weekend last night, it was 2-2 through the first 4 games. Each team had won twice. And then it was an overtime win last night. Slimmest of margins, though. That easily could have been a win in regulation for the Thunderbirds. And now here we find ourselves, 1-goal game again between these two teams. The next few minutes will decide the 6-game season series. But this has been a really good series. Over the course of the season, they first met in November. 2 games earlier this month. Final 2 games here on the weekend. Timeout is over. Here we go. Net is empty. Gus Ford looking to win this face-off. Critical moments now. And down he goes. They'll fight for it. We'll see if Jan Salak can find it. Gus Ford battling for it as well. Ford high in the zone to Zach White. He turns, looks down the half wall, fires it ahead. Ford back to him. White holding on to it. Net is empty to our right. 1 minute, 50 seconds remaining. Plenty of time. Zach White loads up, shoots a long one, blocked in front. Found here by Yuri Pastuka. Pastuka down the boards. Jan Salak holding on to it. Stolen. It's out to center. Salak got it back. And now he goes way back down to find LaBelle. Out to center. Pastuka to Ford. 1:25 remaining. Fire onside off the glass. Here we go. They'll fight for it again. Onside. Taken by Wynn. He's got room to move it out. Pastuka blocks the advance. Back the other way behind the goal. Columbus finds it. Short bounce. That's a terrible break. Long shot, and it just missed off the side of the goal. Well, that one almost cost the Thunderbirds. Nothing you can do about it. There's breaks like that every night, but that took a sharp bounce off a stanchion and found its way in the middle of the zone. Twin City's already used their timeout. Crowd comes to life. Timeout, Columbus and head coach Jerome Bouchard. 66 seconds remaining in regulation time tonight here in the Culver's third period. Out-of-town scoreboard report, Binghamton 6, Watertown 1. That's a final. Port Huron 3-2 over Danbury. Athens leading PD 3-1. Tie game 4-4, Blue Ridge in Indiana. Tie game 1-1, Monroe and Topeka. And a 1-0 lead for Baton Rouge against Biloxi. Columbus took a 2-0 lead, 1-0 after one, and then it was 2-0 at 12:43 of the second period. But Jan Salak put the Thunderbirds on the board at 14:48 of the middle period, and it was a 2-1 deficit after two. Third period, Columbus goes up with a goal from Ryan Galvin to make it 3-1, and Zach White scores at 8:51 to make it 3-2. That's where we are now. Timeout is over. 1 minute, 6 seconds left. Offensive zone face-off. Down it goes. Thunderbirds win possession of the puck. They'll have to battle for it now. A drive is blocked. You hear the call. Less than 1 to go. Far side. Thunderbirds have it. Here's LaBelle. He's got it. Gives to Kramer. Shoots one. Shot block. Roman Kramer off the backhand. Zips it down low. 45 seconds left. LaBelle holding the line. In on goal it goes. And a save made out in front there, I think. Lots of traffic. They'll try it again. Shot block. It's free in the zone. Can they hold on to it? Gus Ford has it. Ford slides it to Jan Salak. In front they go looking for the backdoor play. Picked off. And the clear went off of a River Dragon. So it does not go the length of the ice, but it is out to center. 20 seconds left. Keeley back onside. He'll put it down behind the goal line. Found by the River Dragons. They look to clear it out. It's out of the zone again. Just 12 seconds left now. LaBelle finds it. Gave it away. Empty net. They score. And Columbus will win this one and complete a two-game weekend sweep over Twin City. Well, I don't know if the Thunderbirds really would have had time to move it all the way back down the ice and get another good look, but LaBelle gave it away, and that was it. There's only 7 seconds left, 7.7, so it would have been tough, but that was going to be their last chance. Final face-off, Columbus has it, Columbus wins it. 4-2 the final. And Twin City will drop a game in regulation for the 12th time this season. They fall to 9-12-1. Columbus improves to 15-7-1 in the victory. Final shots on goal, 31 for the Thunderbirds, 27 for the River Dragons. And once again, a close game. but Twin City on the wrong side of this one. So they make the trip following the Christmas holiday down to Columbus. Thunderbirds get a point last night in the overtime loss, but that's their only point of the weekend. River Dragons win the season series, and now the Thunderbirds turn their attention to New Year's Eve coming up on Wednesday. 8:35 the time of the start, and they'll have the game against the Bobcats on Wednesday, and then also games against Blue Ridge on Friday and Saturday. The Thunderbirds' full promotional schedule can be found online, of course, under the schedule drop-down and then the promotional schedule information. But not only do we have the New Year's Eve game, but it's Teacher Appreciation Night on January the 2nd on Friday, and our annual Teddy Bear Toss coming up quickly. That is January the 3rd, 1 week from tonight. Teddy Bear Toss Night in Winston-Salem. So a lot of home games coming up. We hope to see you there. Home games on the 9th, the 10th, and the 24th of January. And of course, we'll play our final game of 2025. The calendar year will expire at midnight on Wednesday. It's 8:35 time of the puck drop for the first puck drop and the first puck drop of the night. It won't be the last, though, as we'll have the hockey game, but then the puck at center ice, of course. It's been hanging high above the Winston-Salem Fairgrounds Arena. There'll be post-game skating and a lot going on. You can find your tickets online at TwinCityThunderbirds.com. I mentioned earlier in the broadcast that the special ticket deal is available for 2026, $20.26. 2 tickets for 2026. More information, again, that's right on the homepage at TwinCityThunderbirds.com. There'll be a lot to look forward to. Andre Nitsch also will return to drop the puck. A champion with the Thunderbirds, Commissioner's Cup champion in 18-19, 2-time Stanley Cup champion as the European scout for the Florida Panthers. So, again, a lot to look forward to, a lot going on. And as they announce the 3-star selection, we will step aside. Post-game show on the way. We'll have a quick break and then come back to recap this one. A loss here on this Saturday night. 4-2 is the final score.
Flo Cadillac is a proud sponsor of the Thunderbirds. Visit 1400 South Stratford Road for a free test drive, or go online to flowcadillac.com to schedule a sales or service appointment.
And welcome back inside the Columbus Civic Center for the post-game show here on our broadcast, YouTube, Facebook, Sportfy, and our audio partners at WTOB Radio. As we hope this one has sounded good back home in Winston-Salem. Unfortunately, though, the Thunderbirds dropped this one in regulation. It's their 12th regulation loss of the season, loss number 13 overall, as they do have one loss past regulation time. Of course, that was right here last night. And the loss in the overtime to the River Dragons. So 9 wins still on the season. And the Thunderbirds have their 4-game point streak snapped tonight. They had a 3-game winning streak entering last night's game. They had the overtime loss, so they get the point in the standings. But of course, no points tonight for this regulation loss. So they have that 4-game point streak snapped. And they'll look to start a new one. And they'll look to build some momentum for the rest of the month of January. Of course, we still have that one game coming up on New Year's Eve, but if you couple that game in with what we'll have on the January schedule, the Thunderbirds and the Bobcats, they are going to see each other 6 times in January. And of course, the next game, which is as close to January as you can get, it will be in the final hours of December, of course, coming up on Wednesday. That one's also against the Bobcats, so we're about to hit a stretch where the Thunderbirds will play the Bobcats in 3 of their next 3 games, 3 consecutive games against Blue Ridge. But they'll also have a stretch where they will play them Again, 6 times in total. There's games in between with Binghamton on home ice. And so we're about to see a lot of the Bobcats and, truthfully, a lot of the Binghamton Black Bears as they will match up 4 times in the month of January against the Thunderbirds. But I mentioned the home game on Wednesday and on Friday and on Saturday of next week. Binghamton comes to town the following weekend. So now we're about to go into a stretch where the Thunderbirds will play their next 5 games on home ice, and a lot to look forward to. Again, you can check the promotional schedule online, but the New Year's Eve game is quickly approaching now. So we'll move to the score sheet here and take a look at what it looked like tonight here in the post-game show. And we'll go down the scoring for you and tell you about tonight's game. So for tonight, the opening goal of the night was scored by Chiwetin Blacksmith of the Columbus River Dragons, assisted by Kyle Moore and Tyler Barrow. That was back at 11:16 of the first period, and the shots on net in the first period were 9-8, favoring Columbus. In the second period, Ryan Hunter gets on the board, assisted by Kyle Moore and Chiwetin Blacksmith. So that's at 12:43 the second period, and Columbus at that point of the game has a 2-goal advantage at 2-0. But Jan Salak scores at 14:48 of the middle period to put the Thunderbirds on the board for the first time tonight. Josh LaBelle with an assist, Gus Ford with an assist, and it's 2-1 at 14:48 of the second period. Shots on goal in the second period were even at 11. And so that's the shots on goal spread in the second period, and also the goal information. As then we go into the third period, Columbus goes up by 2 once more. 3-1 the score as Ryan Galvin scores, assisted by Ryan Hunter and Mike Wynn. And that was at 3:53 of the Culver's third period. At 8:51, though, Zach White scores a massive goal to put the Thunderbirds behind by 1 and totally change, I think, the remaining moments of tonight's game. So Zach White scores that goal. Joe Kennedy gets an assist, and so he's rewarded on the score sheet. As he had a good weekend, just coming out of retirement, has not played this season, and was able to be effective. The Thunderbirds certainly needed him in the lineup this weekend. He was able to provide a bit of a spark, and good to see a fan favorite out there with Kennedy. So he gets on the score sheet for the first time this season, getting that assist on the Zach White scoring play. Nate Keeley, the secondary helper, and it was a 1-goal game for a lot of the remaining moments there of the third period. The final goal is scored by Kyle Moore into an empty net at 19:53 of the Culver's third period. So that's the final scoring play that we had in tonight's game, and that brings us to a final score of 4-2. Each team had 11 shots in the second period I mentioned earlier, and it's 12-8 favoring the Thunderbirds in the Culver's third period. That's a 60-minute total, 3-period total of 31-28. Thunderbirds outshoot the River Dragons tonight, 31 of 28. Boris Babick dropped the game in net. Trevor Babin wins the game in goal for Columbus in the goaltending matchup. Before we go off the air, we will have one final look at our out-of-town scoreboard report as we go over and show you on the video side of things the December home games. But we'll take a look now at the schedule. So we have the schedule up on the board there on the video side of things. Here's what we had tonight from around the league. So it was Binghamton 6 and Watertown 1. That was a final score. Port Huron leading Danbury at 4-2. That one showing us in the third period, 4-4. Also showing in the third period to us as a Blue Ridge and Indiana are battling tonight at 4-4. Again, a tie game in that one. Monroe and Topeka at 1-1. Baton Rouge has a 1-0 lead on the road against Biloxi, and all those games showing as in the third period, except for Monroe and Topeka, which is still showing as second period. And so we'll look ahead now to the schedule coming up on Wednesday. So here's what we have on New Year's Eve. I told you, Thunderbirds fans, it was going to be a busy night in the FPHL, and if you're watching on the video side of things, we see it there. So here's all the games coming up on Wednesday. And, of course, this does not include the rescheduled makeup game that will happen tomorrow with Danbury hosting Port Huron. That game is going to be at 1 o'clock Eastern time tomorrow. So coming up on Wednesday, Thunderbirds have their home game at 8:35. Topeka on the road against Baton Rouge. Binghamton hosting Watertown. Athens hosting Columbus. Monroe will host Biloxi. Danbury on the road against PD. And Port Huron on the road against Indiana. Again, that's what's coming up on Wednesday for the next games in the schedule. We remind you that for home games, they will now have the $4 Frosty Friday promotion. All beers, domestic, imported, and craft, will be included in that. So $4 Frosty Fridays. That's home games on Friday. The next home game on Friday for the Thunderbirds will be on Friday, January the 2nd against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Saturday, that game will introduce the $2 hot dog deal that we actually had posted earlier just a couple of weeks ago. So we remind you about the recent deals there going on with the concessions. You can visit the Flock Shop, the one-stop Flock Shop, of course, before Thunderbirds games and with the hours posted. More information, you can go to TwinCityThunderbirds.com and click on Store. It's right there at the front of the page. There's also a banner ad that's currently running for the one-stop Flock Shop. So we tell you about that, but also want to let you know, of course, about the New Year's Eve game. That is our next game coming up, a big promotion, a big night, and a rivalry game against Blue Ridge. We've honestly not seen very much of the Bobcats so far this season. We think way back to October the 24th. That was a Friday night. We had the home game there in Winston-Salem, and then played a home-and-home series on the 14th and 15th in November. That's all the Thunderbirds have seen from the Bobcats this season, 3 games. However, as I mentioned, going to see the Bobcats coming up 6 times in the month of January, 7 times if you include the game coming up on Wednesday, and in the final week of the regular season, another home-and-home schedule there with the Bobcats. And so we'll see a lot of them, but we hope to see you out at the fairgrounds coming up on Wednesday night for the New Year's Eve game, as we let you know about that. So thanks, everyone, for tuning in tonight. Kendall Grayson signing off for the post-game show and the recap of tonight's game. We were live tonight on the video side of things on YouTube, Facebook, and Sportfy. We did have a little bit of a hiccup there during the second intermission break. We were able to refresh things and get rolling again for the Culver's third period. We thank our audio partners at WTOB, as always, as well. And again, we hope to see you on Wednesday night. Until then, good night from Columbus as the Thunderbirds drop this game. The final score this evening is 4-2.